Hello, welcome here. My name is Naya, and this channel is all about fashion tips, designing, sewing, and crafts. Today, we will be making two beautiful hair bonnets, satin elastic bonnet and ruffle bonnet. The first thing I do is cut out my fabric I'm going to use like this, fold it into two equal halves, make another fold, and then I make a triangle to be able to cut out my circle. I now get my ruler and use the ruler to measure 12 inches from the center of the circle, which is the edge of the triangle right up there, and I measure 12-inch all around, mark it, use my scissors to cut it out. Cut out the excess fabric to have my circle like this. When you have your circle, the next thing I do is to sew around both fabrics as close as possible to the edge, and make sure that the good side of the fabrics are inside, both are inside facing each other. When I sew around my fabric, I make sure to leave a tiny hole to enable me pull out the inside of the fabric. Then I use my scissors to cut round. We used to call that crack around the fabric to enable flat surface, to enable easy ironing. And I iron out the edges of my fabric to make it as smooth as possible. And after ironing my fabric, the next thing I do is iron the fabric like this. Make sure you pull out all the inner edges and make them lay flat and smooth. Then the next thing I do is sew on top of the fabric, sew another circle round 1 inch away from the edge. That's the size of my elastic, to be able to pull the elastic through that space I'm making. When I sew through like that, you can have, these are the results. Now the next thing I do is use my elastic, measure my head, and mark the point where my elastic is gonna be cut. I use a safety pin to pull the elastic through the fabric. As you can see, this is the size of my elastic. It fits perfectly. I will pull the elastic all around this sewn area, and when I pull it together, we have our hat already. The next thing I do now is to cut off the excess elastic, which helped me not to get the edge into the fabric, and I would have to put the two edges together and use my machine to sew it. Yes, put it together like this, 1/2 inch over each other. Sew with the machine. You can use your hand if you like. When I sew with the machine, our hair bonnet is now ready. The next thing to do after sewing is to evenly distribute the gathers all around this elastic, and this one is now ready. Then the next bonnet I will show you. I actually made 2 lines. The first line is 1 inch away from the edge, and another line, the second line, is 1/2 inch for the elastic. So our elastic is going to get through this area like this. We pull it all through, and then when we bring it out at the yes, like this. I cut off the excess elastic, and then I join the edges together again and evenly distribute the gathers. And this is the result of what we were making, guys. This is the first bonnet, just with the elastic. As you can see, you can put it over your hair. It holds your hair together neatly. If you have braids, locks, you can use this. It's very beautiful, convenient. And if you don't want tight elastic, you have to measure exactly your hair circumference to use. Don't make the elastic smaller than your hair circumference, so that you'll be comfortable in it. I hope this video was useful. Please consider to like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I will upload videos like